Johannesburg and Soweto woke up to a deluge. Persistent heavy showers turned roads into rivers. Several, including a section of the N1 and Witkoppen, were closed due to flooding. Many bridges were submerged. By mid-Saturday morning, at least 130 millimeter were recorded in some areas.
The Mike 1 north and south, the double-decker still closed to traffic. That's the freeway which crosses over the Newtown area between the Crown Interchange and Braamfontein. So there we want to encourage motorists to rather use alternative routes. If you're coming from Germiston side, exit the freeway at Joe Slovo and then get on to the Mike 1 again at Houghton, or otherwise go off at Russick Street and drive through the CBD. If you're coming south, go off at Smith Street and go on to Simmons Street and drive through the CBD.
Kliptown in Soweto is severely affected. Several homes were flooded, backyards turned into dams. Residents waded through knee-high water. This elderly man was rescued by boat after his house was submerged by water. Many more suffered damage. This family says their home started flooding around 3 a.m. Their furniture, appliances and lives turned upside down. Residents are appealing for help. He says all the houses are filled with water, but every year they keep voting. For years and years they show us on TV, but nothing gets done. Every time it rains, the water ruins our stuff. We don't have IDs. The emergency section of the Helen Joseph Hospital was also flooded. Patients were temporarily moved to other wards, while new arrivals were taken to other nearby hospitals. The Rahima Musa Hospital and Zola Community Health Centre in Soweto were also affected. Shopping malls were not spared either. Some stores never managed to open their doors at this mall in Kagiso on the West Rand. Despite the rain causing chaos, no major injuries were reported. It did take a toll on the power supply though. City Power says it was inundated with complaints. Brave visitors to the Walter Sisulu National Botanical Garden was treated to a showpiece, the waterfall gushing down in full force. Rain is expected to continue throughout the weekend. Disaster management teams are on high alert.
Right, so let's continue with that story. For the latest, we're on the line to JMPD Senior Spokesperson, Superintendent Minnaar. Superintendent, a very good evening to you. So numerous roads were affected earlier. Do any still remain under pressure or disrupted?
Yes, with the M1 definitely having affected a lot of traffic earlier this morning, but that has now been reopened. Some of the other roads still affected is River Road in Bryanston, where there's a low-level bridge with river water flowing over the road. And then also in the Batlu area, there's a suburb, the Emulan Road, which is still closed. But our concern is, should it rain again later, then we must definitely look out for the Horn Bowl Street, and that is near to King's College, Leslie Road and the Yexkay River Bridge, Rabi Road and the River Bridge, as well as Witkoppen Road in Sunny Hill. So those are our areas of concern for tonight, should it rain again.
And there were reports of accidents as well. How many in total?
That's a high number, I can say. And what I can say is that we have found that the cars were overturning because of the wet roads, and that is because our drivers are not adjusting to driving on wet roads. They're not reducing the speed, they're not increasing the following distance, and hence when they brake suddenly and jerk on the steering wheel, we are finding a lot of the cars overturning.
And beyond the reckless driving, Superintendent Minnaar, are there any roads that you'd like to warn, bar the ones that you've mentioned, motorists to keep away from, especially if there are expectations of heavy rains? As in, there are roads that you really shouldn't be driving on.
Yes, look, if it does definitely rain this evening, we're likely to see some more flooding on Leslie Road, that's at the Yexke River Bridge. And also the river bridge on Robbie Road in Randburg. Then also Hornball at King's College. Those are the roads which are likely to flood again should it rain later this evening. But what we want to encourage drivers is not to drive through water where there's river water flowing over a road. Rather turn around or take an alternative route.
Okay, so let's talk about the Helen Joseph Hospital, Superintendent. How bad is the situation there? There were earlier reports of flooding.
Yes, however, the rain has now subsided, which has helped a bit with much of the water running away. So there's still water, but it's a bit better than what it was.
And just with regards to the situation at the hospital, it's been attributed to blocked drains as well. So are there any other public places that are experiencing problems such as this because of blocked drains?
Well, look, we're really trying our best under the circumstances. And it's more than anything else, a lot of rainwater over a short space of time. And hence we're finding a lot of roads which has been flooded.
All right, thank you so much, Senior Superintendent Wayne Minnaar. As you heard their warnings about roads that you should avoid, especially if there are more heavy rains expected, and please do not drive where there's river waters, as he mentioned, and also adjust your speed according to the wet conditions on the road.